who are a pair of budgies, also known as parakeets, very commonly, and their human Julie. So hi, Julie.
Hi, Robin.
Hi. So these are Blue and Berry. Which one is which, if you can tell?
Yes. So Blue has the white head, and then Berry has the striping on her head.
Okay, so Berry's on the left and Blue is on the right.
Yes.
Perfect. So are these girls? It sounded like.
We believe that they're girls based off of their brown, kind of rough hair. However, they have not been DNA sexed and neither has laid an egg. So it's not 100% certain, but I'm fairly confident it would be females.
Yeah, with budgies, you can generally tell, although there are some color variations that make it very difficult to tell. So how did these two come to Mickaboo?
They were originally in a home, and then whenever, I guess they were just newborns, and then that person decided that they needed to move them to another home, so they gave them as a gift to their brother and sister-in-law. One of the reasons why, we really don't give gifts as pets or give pets as gifts. So the brother and sister-in-law had them for about a year and then decided that they just couldn't keep them and needed to surrender them to Mickaboo.
That makes sense. So we know they're from the sounds of that, maybe 2 or 3 years old?
Approximately 2.5-ish.
That makes sense. And budgies will live, I would say, around 15 years or so. So still very young, it sounds like.
Yes.
Are they tame at all?
They are. So they will actually eat out of your hand, and they'll jump onto your hand and whatever you have. They're very food oriented. So if you have food in your hand, they're going to go for your hand.
And what kind of foods do they eat normally? And what kind of foods are they desperate to eat out of your hand?
They will actually eat anything. They are on a regular diet of the Nutri-Cakes, which is what our vet recommends, and it's really a whole diet nutrition. We also supplement that with the Rowdy Bush pellets, and then they get treats. Right now in their cage, they have some celery and also some millet. Basically anything you have, they're interested. So they'll jump into your hand and very gently and chow down.
We just heard a lot of cute little chirping. Which bird was that? And how chatty are they?
They are both kind of chattering with each other right now. Sometimes I think of them as like, two ladies kind of on a bench watching the world go by and telling each other the stories about what they think and what they see. They are in a group right now, or a flock right now, with 3 other budgies. So together they can get pretty chatty. They usually don't get too loud, but they will in the morning whenever they're getting a little bit more excited, be a little bit more boisterous. But normally they pretty much chitter to each other regularly.
Makes sense. They seem absolutely adorable and they're chatting away. And I know someone's going to ask, so I'll ask preemptively, can they be adopted separately?
We would really prefer to go together. They are quite bonded. You can see how close they are right now. And whenever, they go to bed at night, they're together. Whenever I pull off their cover in the morning, they're always very close together, even though they have, a large flight cage to be around in. And they also love to preen each other and make sure, both of them look good. They'll play together as well. So if they can be adopted together, that would be very preferable.
Another thing is that Mickaboo does require that if you're going to be adopting a cockatiel, budgie, or several other small birds, that you want to get more than one. They are very flock oriented. So of the 5, you think these 2 are the most bonded?
Definitely.
Makes sense.
And they've been together. They've been together for, their whole lives.
Makes sense. And I like how, just as we're talking about how close and adorable they are, they're like, let's stand on the exact opposite ends of the perch, just to be contradictory. Are they good with kids?
They are, I believe. So I have my nieces that they have been around. They've stepped up on my niece's hands to eat some food out of that. My nieces are 7 and 8 right now. And, we're a little bit younger too. And they came from a home that had 2 young boys. So they are used to being around children.
That's good to know. Not every bird reacts well to the energy of young kids. So making sure that a bird is not going to be panicked by young feet running around the house is pretty important, I would say.
Exactly.
So are they also in a flight cage like the cockatiels? Because it looks kind of similar.
They are. So right now their flight cage is approximately 35 inches in length. It's about 30 wide and then also 19 in depth. Once again, they're with 3 other budgies. So we want to give them a lot of room to flap their wings around. And we really recommend for budgies, if you can give them something at least 30 inches wide, so they have some room. However, if you really talk to the budgie coordinator, they can give you ideas on minimum cage sizes and what would work best in your home. As big as you could get for a cage is ultimately the best.
It makes sense. A lot of people think small birds mean small cage, but just because they're small, they often end up spending more time in the cage. So they want more space in the cage with more things to do, which, looking at the top, it seems like they have a decent amount of things to do going on there. Do they have a favorite toy?
They do, and it actually seems that Barry is very interested. Oh, actually, Blue's going over right now. So this toy that Blue is at, it's kind of they can pull it. It has some wood in it. So that's right now seeming to be the favorite toy. However, we also have the balls that they like to swing off of and flip around as well.
It makes sense. They honestly just seem super cute. I love budgies, and having a whole flock of them is just very nice. I assume you've got quite a flock dynamic going on with the whole group.
Very much so. I kind of like to think of it as like a little council or so. We have our president and our vice president and going on, and they hold their town hall meetings and, chat about the day and what needs to go on. So it's really fun to see them together as a flock, and just watching these two as well is hilarious at times.
Yeah, they sound hilarious. And again, if anyone does have any questions, anything they want to ask about this bird, about birds in general, about Mickaboo, feel free to use the Q&A tab, and we will answer you pretty much right away in most cases. So before we move on to our next bird, do you have any fun stories about these two?
I think just watching them in general, so they will kind of chase each other around the cage, in their playtime, and they'll go from one end of the rope perch. One bird will chase the other one down to the end of the rope perch, and then the other one chases the other one back. So watching them do that, their personalities are really starting to come out now. They've been more involved with the toys and just, checking out what's going on. But to watch them preen each other and, just interact is so fun.
They honestly seem really cute and really fun to be around. So hopefully someone fell in love with them as well and wants to either start a flock with them or add them to a flock. So yes. Thank you very much. And we are going to be hopping over